Hello everybody, welcome back to ZonaCraft. My name is Zona, and yes, today is the final episode of this world. While that is sad, it is bittersweet because I have a couple of big announcements. First is we'll be starting a new survival world in 1.19 when that drops. And second, I will be joining ZetaCraft for Season 2 of their SMP. They seem like an awesome group of creators, and I'm super excited to join them for Season 2. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the awesome content I have planned for you. And with that, let's go name some villagers. Alright, so before we start the tour, we're going to name our new subscribers for the last episode. And I'm pretty sure I say this later on, but all of these names, so if you're named here, you will be moved to the next world. But we're still going to name for today, so we're going to change the duck to their new name, Crix. And then we have Kylie, Felicia Lolly, Segru, Ricky CFT, Maya Quest, and Mindless. And those last three subscribers are all Zetas I will be playing with on the ZetaCraft server. Thank you everyone for subscribing, and again, if you want to be named in my trading hall in the next world, just go ahead and comment down below, and I will add you to the next world. Alright, so I'm gonna start the tour off at my storage room here. That's where I spend the most time in this world for the most part, I feel like. But to the left here, I have things I need on a daily basis, so ender chest, bed, workstation, stuff like that. Coming down here, this first module is 25 rows long, and each row has 4 different sorting areas, so that's 100 blocks that can be stored here. That is also mirrored on the other side, so between these two, I can store 200 items. Right here I have all of my non-stackable items, so we have tools and armor, books and elytras and totems and stuff like that. Also all the heads I've accumulated through this world. On this other side we have items that aren't in the storage system, so like concrete, wool, food items and stuff like that. If we come over here, this is my bulk storage stuff that I have a whole bunch of that I store in shulker boxes. So this first one is for stone. It's actually completely filled, so I have 2 of them. So we have about a third of the chest filled on this one. Same thing for the cobblestone. This one's not quite as full just because I use it for redstone. We have the 3 stone types here, or whatever they're called. I'm not really sure, but I kind of group these together all the time. So I think they're in the hoppers, yeah. So not quite as much. So we have the normal deep slate here, which we have about 6 shulker boxes, and then we have the cobbled, which is almost full. Well, I guess not almost full because there's a barrel back there as well. We won't go through all of these. I just think it's kind of interesting to see how much I've accumulated throughout the whole world. But over here we have our gunpowder. I think it's actually completely filled. Coal is pretty close as well. If I brought all of my coal over, it would be. And the iron's almost filled as well. So those are probably the 3 items that I have the most of in the world. Maybe string might be up there too, actually. Let me take a look. Yeah, string is pretty close as well. But that's going to wrap it up for the storage room. If we move to the left here, we have the storage for the crimson and the other wood that I can't think of what it's called. Warped wood, there we go. So we have the fungus that goes here. The shroom lights are somewhere in here as well. There they are. And I guess I'll show the logs as well. Somewhere in here, yep, there's quite a bit. But if we go back here, here's the farm itself. It's a pretty huge farm, but it's honestly one of the favorite ones I've ever made just because these are so annoying to farm manually, because they don't work like normal trees would in the overworld. They don't despawn the leaves or whatever, so they're kind of annoying to get rid of. Here is where I get the mushroom blocks for those, or the warped fungus, I guess is what they're called. So moving on, we're gonna head again to the left. I have my honey farm here. So this side is supposed to be for the honey bottles, and this side is supposed to be for the honeycomb. Never actually set up the honeycomb because I got enough from like just one module of it. I think it's back here actually. So yeah, when I was breeding all the bees, I had these set up just to go as I was breeding them, and it filled up a chest pretty quickly. I have some more over here. So since I got so many there, I decided never to hook this up unless I needed it, which I never ended up needing it. But over here we have honey bottles, and I think it's about halfway full here. Yep. So whenever I need honey, I go through there and get those. And over here we have the wool farm. I think this was one of the first farms I did just because I was super excited to make a wool farm for some reason. I think it was near when the dispenser could shear it came out, so I think that's why I was super excited. But yeah, we have one of every sheep in here. I've since let it just die out and not replace the shears, because I think we have 2 shulker boxes of each type of wool ready to go. I've not needed to use more than that since, but moving on. Here we have our concrete converter. So if we jump in here, this is where we would put all of our concrete right here to convert. The on-off switch is right here. And then it comes up and gets sorted into all of these colors right here. I think we have some sorted in there, not a whole bunch. But yeah, there's not going to be a whole bunch sorted in here because if I'm using this, I'm using it for a project and I need those blocks usually right away. And then this is just to put that back. I think that's pretty cool. And next over here we have our trading hall that I just recently updated, so everything's still oxidizing here. But if you've ever seen my trading hall before, which I'm sure I've showed it on camera, I have all this down here, but since we've moved to a new trading hall location, I didn't want to convert all that into the new style here. So this was my old style of my base when I first made my base, which I decided to go with this one overall, which I like a lot better. But we kind of kept all the important librarians here. But if we keep on going to the left here, we have a potato and carrot farm and villager breeder. All the storage comes back here, and then there's some bone mill converting action back here for any excess. I empty that out every once in a while. I don't really need to now just because I have a bone mill farm. But that should take us back to our storage room. So we're going to go ahead and jump down a level. So right below our storage farm is my furnace array. So we have blast furnaces on the left and we have normal furnaces on the right. Let me go grab something to smelt real quick. So if we come to the back here and go around here, and we can throw in this chest the raw iron, it starts to come around and fills up all the blast furnaces. But ever since there were waterlogged rails, I've been using them to do my furnace arrays just so you can make it a little bit more efficient, I'm pretty sure. And then this side over here, our chest is right here. We're going to throw logs in there for now. And as you can see, it goes this way, then that way, and back and forth. I will say, for some reason, I don't know what the glitch is with the minecart and the rails in the hopper minecart. But for whatever reason, this used to work, but now it doesn't fill up the very last furnace for whatever reason. I tried a whole bunch of things to fix it, couldn't get it to fix. But that's how those work. This right here, I don't think I've ever shown on camera. I think this was supposed to be the episode 10, but I decided to make this the finale. So we have some red mushroom farms that are passive. So this one has about 1.5 stacks. This one triggers from a daylight sensor every morning, I believe. So this one has almost a row full, a little bit better there. And in here we have our brown mushroom farm. So you can either farm the blocks or the actual mushrooms themselves. I'm gonna go ahead and show you how this works real quick. So if we come in here, all we have to do is place our mushroom. It'll start to grow automatically. I stood too close. It pushes the mushroom up. You get rid of the stem first. And then it pushes it up so the podzol doesn't disappear. I think if it disappears, you can't grow it anymore, I'm pretty sure. But if you're standing right here, you can just go around in a circle and get rid of every single block. And there's one block up there because we're pushing the stem up. And that's pretty much it. So that's how I can farm the brown mushroom whenever I need them. I might make a tutorial on this just because I think it's pretty cool and I was able to come up with it by myself. Moving along, we have our potion lab right here. So pretty basic. We just have our potions ready to go whenever we need them. We have 12 that can be brewed here. And moving along, we have our Nether Wart farm. So how this works is it's a manual farm. You're using the fortune enchantment on a tool to get more Nether Wart instead of having an AFK version. Or an even more manual farm. But all you have to do is just get in this minecart, push forward, and you start to break the Nether Wart with the fortune hoe. And then, eventually you would go all the way around. So as you're going through, the Nether Wart gets left on the soul sand here to when you pass the second time, you're picking it up as you're replanting. But yeah, basically once you're done breaking everything, you go around a second time and replant everything, and you don't have to worry about anything running out or the Nether Wart in your hand running out because you're picking it up again as you go down. Probably a bad explanation on that, but if you want to see how that works, there should be an episode on it somewhere. But I've gotten about 4 double chests full, plus all of the storage in the nether or the potion lab over there. But if I do run this farm, or if I do go through this farm one time, I usually get about 3 rows full of Nether Wart, which is pretty good. And over here we have my storage for my trees, or for my logs, sorry. So we have every single type of a log from the overworld here, along with sticks and apples and just overflow. Also overflow book storage on this side. But if we actually come around the back here, this is where the actual farm itself is for the trees. I can do every tree except for dark oak right now. But this is Nembon's tree farm. I built it way back in the day. I've had some slight issues, but I'm pretty sure they were all my fault. But it's still a really good tree farm. And also the TNT exploding area was built by me. I think that's mainly where I had most of the issues now that I think about it. But basically his harvesting TNT thing in his role is super complicated, at least for me. So I couldn't really, or I didn't want to figure out how to build it. So I built my own. Also on the other side here is the concrete converter itself. So there's our colorful wall right there. This is where it all gets converted. Alright, and moving on to the next room is kind of my bone mill room, or everything that needs to be bone milled. So we have cocoa beans, about a barrel full, same with the crop farm right here. I mainly do wheat in there. We have the weeping and twisting vines. I never really set up the weeping just because you have to go from the bottom, so I decided not to do that. Next we have the lichen, roots, glowberries, and sweet berries. Here's the power switch for this whole room. So this turns on this whole wall to our left here. And if we want anything, all we have to do is take our shears or just right click and it starts to harvest it. Same with the glowberries. This one we need to use our shears for, and this one as well. But all this goes into these chests down here. We're going to turn that off. Next is our 2 tall flowers, so we can just turn that on right here. And that starts to be bone milled. And last we have our pickle farm. I was pretty proud I was able to come up with this by myself, I believe. Basically, it just bone mills a pickle that's on this block right here. And it will randomly bone mill down here as well. Only thing is you have to manually collect everything, so you have to go down here and squeeze around in there to get everything. Not too bad though. And over here we have our bone mill farm, or moss farm. I don't think I ever used it for moss though, just because I never really used a lot of moss. But down here we have about 2 chests full of bone mill and shulker boxes, which is pretty good. So this is where I had that chunk error a couple episodes back, where it basically replaced this chunk with another chunk. Basically this chunk over here got duplicated to over here. That was super weird looking. But this is where the first module of the bone mill farm that actually runs the whole thing would be. But I never rebuilt it just because I have so much down here that I probably don't need to run it again. But moving on, we have our lava farm. It does look like it needs some finishing touches. We'll do that at some point. So the way this works is you have to turn it on manually in the back by pushing or adding a cauldron right there. And then you come down here, you hold right click and do the F3T, which will keep you right clicking. And every time a lava bucket goes through the system down here, it will shoot out a brand new empty bucket right here, so you never run out of buckets while you're AFKing. And that will bring us back to our furnace farm, so we're going to head down another level. Right now I have a sugarcane farm. I don't think I ever showed this on camera, just I was running out of sugarcane, so I built this super quickly. And it's hooked up to the bulk storage system up above. Oops. I did have some different plans for this, but I don't think I'll ever get to it. There's not a whole bunch down on this 3rd row. I think there's only one more thing, if I remember correctly. 2 more things. So we have our huge cactus farm. This is like 9 layers tall and produces like a ridiculous amount of cactus, more than I would ever need. But this is something I'm super proud of. This is my XP setup for smelting the cactus. So basically I have these modules back here to where it will stop smelting cactus once you get enough XP to repair a tool. So each one is like 3 by 5 by like 7 or something like that, or 3 by 7 by 5 or something. And again, once the furnace has smelted enough to repair a netherite tool, it will stop smelting and all the cactus will move on to the next one and so forth. And then on the edges here, we have bulk furnaces that just smelt everything else that comes through once all of these fill up. They actually haven't smelted in a while just because I haven't refilled the fuel. But I suppose since we're here, we'll go ahead and see how much XP we get from those. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and that. So I'm not expecting too much from these right now just because I'm at 939. Should I die? We'll see how much this one gives real quick. So I'm pretty sure I've emptied this one once before, so we'll see what it gives right now. So we do get a couple, oh, quite a few levels. Holy crap. Whoa, dude. Holy crap. Okay, I'm gonna, oh, hold on. Do you think I can get to 1,000 from this? That would be crazy. Let's try to get to 1,000. Screw it. Is that gonna do it? Oh, wait. No, I'm only at 960. That's not gonna get me to 1,000. Dang it. Okay, whatever. I thought maybe it could get us. I thought we were a lot closer. But might as well keep on going, I guess, at this point. It might actually get pretty close, because these two should be the ones that get the most of it. Okay, 20 off, 20 off. I think we got about 30. I think we're at, what, 939, so we got over 40 levels, so that's not bad at all. So we'll turn those back on. But yeah, those are basically, those are for when I die and just need XP. Because a lot of times when I die, I don't have time to AFK and get a whole bunch of levels when I need them. So I can just go grab them from there. And I suppose that will bring us down to here. Hopefully you saw this in the intro. This is my logo I decided to build in the middle of my base. Here we have AZH Arizona Hobby on every corner here, or every side, I suppose. So I was planning on having a storage system down each lane here. Just decided not to, just because again we're gonna be starting a new world, I think. Yeah, nothing down here besides like aesthetics. Again, we were planning on putting the storage system down here, just never decided to do it. And actually, if we come up here, I did grab almost every single item in the game for the most part. I'm sure there's probably about 10 items missing. I grabbed at least 3 of every item though. 1 for the filter, 1 for the block that shows what it is, and I think just 1 extra. But that was my plan for down there, but again, we just never got to it. And I suppose I should show this right here that I never finished. This is a castle. This is from season 1. Just I'm not a very good castle builder. This is kind of a style I struggle with, I feel like. And just above ground building in general, I guess, is something I struggle with. At least I used to. I think I've gotten better with it now. But I don't think I'll ever finish this, to be honest. But I still think it looks pretty good, to be honest. I like it. But let's go ahead and move into the Nether. Coming out of this portal, I have my Nether Hub right here. So we have 4 different ways we can go. I never really finished all of the tunnels, as you can see right here. We're actually going to head up here first. So this was my last plan for my Nether Hub area. I was going to build the Sarlacc, which I kind of did here. I think I was going to plan on making it look a little bit bigger. And then we have Boba Fett's ship right there. But with me not continuing the world, obviously I'm not going to finish this. But I still think it's a pretty cool build. Yeah, I kind of got the idea from watching the Book of Boba Fett. But that's kind of it for the main Nether Hub area. I think we'll go ahead and head this way next. Nope, this way. And if we come through this portal right here, it's going to take us to our trading hall area. And I'm going to go ahead and actually hop into spectator mode just to make this a little bit easier. Seeing that I'm not going to be in the world anymore, I don't think it's that big of a deal. This is my trading hall right here. This is probably, if not my favorite, one of my favorite builds I've ever made in Minecraft. But this is where I house all of my villagers. So if we come in here, we have a little bit of a storage area to the right here. But we have 6 areas for all of the villagers down here. So we have 2 rows for librarians, we have 1 for clerics right here, and 1 for toolsmiths, and then back here we have farmers, and we have our stonemasons. So it's not completely done. As you can see, I would say it's about 80% done. But again, one of my favorite builds I've ever made. I think it's super cool looking. Coming out of here, we'll go ahead and head over to the house right here. This is kind of my starter area, or starter house for this area, even though I didn't really need one. But up top here, we kind of have a bedroom area with a fireplace. Moving to the base level, we have a kitchen area, the best I could. And moving down, we have our storage area for the house and for the area with some furnaces and whatnot. So this house and this blacksmith area right here are kind of my first ever interiors that are purely decorative. I've never really done that before, but it was super fun to make them. But coming into this blacksmith, we have a workspace area out here, kind of like a shopping area for the blacksmith. And then up here, we have where the blacksmith would live. And then coming out here, we have a graveyard. So super fun to build this as well. I've never done anything like this either. But if we come down here, this is where I keep all of my dead tools. For the most part, I'm sure I have some more in other places. We also have this area over here that I think is pretty cool looking. But yeah, that's probably going to wrap up this area. Kind of wanted to do more with this, but I think this is where it's going to wrap up for the trading hall area. And as we kind of show off a little bit more, I'm going to explain what we're going to do in the next few clips. I'm just going to do a quick montage of like all the farms I've built in this world. Purely like just farms that have no like aesthetic to it. They're just farms for resources. So we're going to head to all of those. Hopefully I can remember them all. There should only be a few, and I think I forgot to show this right here. But this is where the villagers come and get converted into zombies, and then they get sent into the trading hall through this rail system. The breeder is back here. But yeah, let's go ahead and head to all of the farms I have in the world. And the first farm is the gold farm here. We have the actual farm up here, then the storage system down here, along with the bartering farm. I did it a little bit overkill for the setup I have. I only end up using 2 of these piglins here, because if you use all 8 or however many it is, it gets backed up really quick. But we're going to move on to the next one. So here is where I get all the coal in my world. It's a wither skeleton farm. This is where you actually kill them, and then down below here is where the platform for them to spawn is. So they all spawn here, get attracted to this iron golem, and then they go through this portal right here. So just over from our base there, we have a copper farm. So this is where I've gotten most of my copper. As you see, some of the zombies are still there. And moving from our base again towards this way, there should be a raid farm somewhere out here. Hopefully I don't need to track it down in the nether. Here it is. So this is the very first raid farm I built. The reason I don't use it anymore is I was having a bit of issues with it, so I went with another design. But if we continue out this way, right here we have a guardian farm. So this is where I get all my prismarine lanterns and like dark prismarine from. So we're back at the base, and if we go over to the left here, we have a new raid farm, which was actually, I believe, supposed to be in this episode as well. So I don't think you've seen this before at all. I'll go ahead and enter a few clips from it here. Keep one for now. Oh, bro. What is this? I was not expecting this. Is this guy gonna stay here forever? I kind of want to name tag this dude actually. And this guy is officially Eeyore. That's what he reminds me of. So I do die decent. Another guy got it. I do die decently often. I'm sorry. And this guy down here will be called Bing Bong. What is up with this episode and this happening? No. Okay, I gotta name this guy too, dang it. Gamorrean. Kind of what he runs with. But basically, I've AFK'd here a few nights. Gotten plenty of resources. I think they're all down here, actually. Yeah, so we've gotten almost a full double chest full of redstone, which is really the main reason I built this. But obviously, we're not going to need that. And over here, I think we're just outside of range of my base. We have the first version of the copper farm I tried to build, but I somehow messed it up to where I ended up building it way over there. But I figured I'd just show that real quick. And we are back here at the base. I'm pretty sure those are most of the farms that don't have like any builds around them. I think we actually only have a few things to go over now. So yeah, we're gonna hop back in the Nether and then head to those. Alright, so we're here at my ice farm. If we harvest this ice farm fully, we get 4 shulker boxes full of ice. I was pretty happy with the design of this. I think it's pretty cool looking. I only used it once, I believe. I don't think I fully harvested it either. But I think it's just cool to have a whole bunch of ice like that in a big cube. So that's why I built it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this farm. And we are now here at the flower farm. So we kind of have this mansion build up here. This is probably in my top like 3 favorite things I've ever done in Minecraft. I just really like how this looks. But if we come down below, that's where the actual farm itself is. So we have every single type of flower that you can get in a flower farm in here. I think it's like 11 different flowers, and then they are all stored back here into the shulker box loaders. And again, another one of my favorite builds I've done in Minecraft. Alright, so that's going to wrap up the tour. We are back here at the main base. Just want to say a huge thank you for everyone who has watched the series so far. And keep a lookout in the next couple of weeks for the new series when 119 drops. If you're not subscribed already, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss when that comes out. And I will see you in the next one.